And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. I'm so happy it's Friday. It's October 17th. It's 2025. Again, I am so happy it's Friday. I'll explain in a minute. But first, in case you don't know, this is serious talk on everything that affects you. We will do the markets. And that's why we're happy it's Friday. We'll do the economy. We'll do your job, your industry, tariffs, war, Ukraine, this mayor of New York City and the debate last night. Why the heck does that matter to you? And whatever else comes to mind. And of course, if you do not get this radio show in your city, we will post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on my X feed. And if you don't follow us on X, you should. And if you'd like to email us, all you got to do is be nice. And everybody's been nice. You know, I'm not getting anybody calling me a Nazi and Hitler and Trump derangement syndrome or I hate Trump. By the way, I get that. I get emails, why do you hate Trump so much? And then I get emails, you have Trump derangement syndrome. That means I am doing my job when I tell you we have no agenda, no ulterior motive or bias. We just care about good policy. What's wrong with that? So, where do we want to start? This week, we're going to call it the Wacky Week in Review, which, by the way, finished up on the week, and that's because we got trashed last Friday and we gapped up on Monday. But I must tell you, for the record, there's some wild swings this week and some things that have come off the good list. You see, when we do our scans, we keep lists. We have this legal pad and we write down names. And the more names that are on the good list tells us about the market. And of course, if there's more names in one sector, that's of import. But this week, something interesting happened in that, again, the market was up this week. Because last Friday, the market got trashed on tariff talk. So first, let me state, futures were down 400 on the Dow overnight. And then let me state for the record that the president had a interview and was specifically asked about that 100% tariff on China that he put on them that would start on November 1st. Is that still on? No. And of course, the market finished up today. And if you know me by now, I loathe the president using threatened massive tax policy and then pulls it off and puts it on and pulls it off and puts it on. And I worry, and this is a worry of what I would call import. I'm just hoping he doesn't crash the market one day with it. He did it once. We'll keep our fingers crossed. But I digress. Let's start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin on Monday broke the 50-day moving average. Went straight down all week, was down again today, did bounce off the lows today, but is actually below the low of mid-September and mid-August and is now trading. Not making this up. All the talk of Bitcoin going to 1 million and 3 million and 13 million. I saw somebody with a straight face on TV said 30 million. Bitcoin is trading underneath the low, the high of December of last year now, which is no big deal. It's only about 15% below the recent highs. No big deal. But we're just letting you know, for all the talk, it is now trading below the highs of last December. It closed the IBIT, it's a Bitcoin ETF, closed at $61.75 last December, early September. Closed at $60.47 today. So just letting you know, we're not saying it's meaningful or not, except we would avoid buying Bitcoin, and the same goes for Ethereum. And we're bringing this up because we're being asked a lot about it. And of course, MicroStrategy we warned you about. And it's gone from 457 to 289 since July. We warned you. And we've also told you the last bear market watched it go down 75%. And the touters, God bless them, have no thought process it could ever go into a bear market again. So we'll keep you apprised. As always, you decide, but I had to start with that. Be careful. No sales, no revenues, no earnings, no product, no services. Just letting you know. Next thing I want to talk about. Let's say the market had only 100 stocks. For the sake of saying that. And 100 stocks were in uptrends. And let's assume we know what an uptrend looks like. And then 20 stocks top out and start downtrends. Let's say that happened. Well, I'm just letting you know, we're finding more names that were, let's call them in shape, now going into downtrends. Now, you already know from the recent past how we've been telling you to avoid restaurants, exchanges, payroll companies, waste management, recently the travel-related, airlines, cruise lines, hotels, a lot of financials as of recent, especially the private equity names. Well, we're just letting you know as we scan and on a daily basis, we're finding more names. Just going bye-bye. And how do we define bye-bye? Breaking support and or moving averages. Let me throw you a for instance. Uber. No big deal. It's down 9% from the highs, maybe 10. That's not a big deal. That happens. But it's now back below the 50-day moving average, and as you know, a stock cannot ascend if it's below. So it's moved to the side. Not in a deep downtrend, not in a bear market, but it gets moved to the side. I have to bring up Oracle. So Oracle yesterday had an investor conference, and out of nowhere, in seconds, Oracle screamed to the upside. Went from like 305 to 321 and closed for the day at around 313. Dropped $22 today. Because as everybody, I guess, looked at what they said, I guess they thought 1 + 1 did equal 2. Now, by no means has Oracle broken down. But it broke a trend, and it broke an ability to break to the upside. So not the end of the world, but it's no longer on my list of setups to break out to the upside, for instance. And then there's Goldman Sachs, trading below the 50-day. JP Morgan, trading below the 50-day. Not a disaster, but both reported earnings, did not have very good reactions, and yesterday, off of the drop in other financials, namely the regional banks, they got clipped. As long as they trade below the 50-day moving average, they're out of play. Oh, we're not telling you to sell them. They've had good moves up for a while, but from here they cannot ascend until they get back above. Simple as that. And we're just finding more and more names that are doing this. Worse off is something like a Astra Labs, ALAB. Go check what they did to this stock this week. Crumbled. Gone. History out of here. CRDO, Credo. On Tuesday it was. Jump back above today. Okay. Up next, what else are we seeing? Please listen. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. So, what else are we seeing? For your information, gold had a down day today. Meaningless statement, especially after a big move up. And especially after, last Thursday, I thought the top was in for now. And we had 5 days up in a row, but finally gravity took over. I would tell you that I think today really was the day, but since last Thursday wasn't, I'm not going to say anything except to say, finally a good down day. That's all. We'll leave it at that. Very overdue. And I want to mention the advanced declines on the NASDAQ today were 1,900 up, 2,568 down. Amazingly, on the NASDAQ, there are only 54 new highs today. 126 new lows. What? With the NASDAQ up 117 and the NASDAQ 100 up 160? What? Just letting you know. Things got masked today. Apple was up almost $5. Nvidia was up $1.50. Microsoft had an up day, up $2. And these things are so mega capped to the markets. They're so influential. You get 5 names up and 20 names down, the market will still be up nicely because of those just 5 names. We're just letting you know, we lost a bunch. Didn't lose American Express though, and may I be clear, American Express today was about 150 Dow points to the better. Dow was up 238. American Express reported 19% earnings growth, 9% sales growth. The market, for whatever reason, loved it. But American Express just pulled back hard because of the weakness in financials. Speaking of financials, so in case you don't know, there is worry about credit on Wall Street. We have highlighted for you how a lot of what we call these private equity buyout type companies, capital markets type thing, are in bear markets, and they have been worsening. We're keeping watch on that because just yesterday they trashed the regional banks, which kind of bounced a little bit today, but that's normal after getting trashed. And you know what the regional banks are talking about? Credit and potentially fraud on credit. So just keep that in mind. You want to know what bearish looked like? Go look at ZION, which by the way got upgraded today after getting smashed yesterday. Go look at KRE. It's a regional bank exchange traded fund. So something we weren't really having to think about in the last 5 days, the action of these areas now has us thinking about them and definitively staying on top of them, because if anything could get the markets, it's one of those credit blow-ups. And we're predicting nothing. We're just interpreting for you that a lot of names in those areas acting troublesome, with some getting smoked. I have yet to do my final scan today, but I repeat, finding some pretty good distribution in some important stuff, breaking support / moving averages. We'll let you know if that continues. If the market remains on the weaker side, and yes, the indices are up today, but if the average stock remains on the weaker, what we are hoping for is they just go range bound and ready to bust out to the upside whenever they decide to. Simple as that. But you need to know, we started with the crypto, in spite of what everybody says. And we don't want to name any other names, but when you go do your scans, anything breaking below the 50-day, trouble. Anything breaking support, and we're watching for the group moves also. Worst was best today. The areas we have been avoid on are bouncing. Not all, but staples. Food, beverage, tobacco, household products, all green today. Been dead money with a lot of bear markets, especially the alcohol stuff. I don't see one red today, so they bounced. But what are they? They're defensive. We'll keep you informed on them. But good day. Best looking, I believe, today was Ecolab. And by the way, it's the strongest name in that area. And maybe it shouldn't even be in that area in case it's more business. They do the cleaning and sanitizing, I think hotels, restaurants, and maintenance and all that stuff. So I'm not even sure that should be in a group. In that group, we've been telling you about how insurance stocks have been destroyed. They bounced a little bit today. But when I say bounce, Progressive Insurance has gone from 289 down to 220 and was up 4 today. That's what we mean by anemic bounce. So regardless that insurance bounced today, it's an avoid. It's an avoid. Restaurants, maybe a couple of them may be bottoming. Not sure yet. But they've been avoids. And I stick with that at this juncture. Though maybe some of the down wrung out. We'll know in the days ahead. But I just want to repeat something I said earlier. There are more new yearly lows in the market than new yearly highs today. With the Dow up 238, the S&P up 35, NASDAQ up 117, NASDAQ 100 up 160. Do I have to repeat that? By the way, more new lows on the New York Stock Exchange than new yearly highs. That is weird, ladies and gentlemen. Very weird. And I can't wait to mine that sucker. Up next, that guy running for mayor, or the next mayor. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. You know, maybe I don't talk about this often. I always thought we had a pretty rock-solid justice system, but we really don't. I mean, on a daily basis, I am reading about so many violent criminals being let out. Not after 1 or 2 or 3, but after 10 and 15 and 20. And then all of a sudden they murder somebody, and we don't have to ask the question on whether we knew or not knew would happen. We knew eventually, yet these judges keep letting them out. It's unbelievable to watch. I don't even know what to say. Somebody knifed somebody on the subway. 18 arrests, 9 of them for felony violence. Last one let out with very low bail. And I'm just thinking to myself, what does it take to have a judge logically, you don't have to be Albert Einstein, logically say, this person is a threat to the community, go screw yourself, no bail. Or one of those $1 million bails that you know they can't afford. And we keep hearing, well, we're just following the law. No, they're not. No, they are not. And unfortunately, innocent people are being attacked and murdered in this country in 2025. Yet, you got governors and mayors fighting Trump on trying to fight crime. It's so weird to watch. Speaking of that, I was on Fox Business Network, the Big Money Show today for 2 hours from noon to 2. And we talked the mayoral debate last night in New York City. And if you don't think the mayor of New York City matters, I can't help you. And here's my problem. He's professing now, you know, I was younger and I was pissed, and that's why I said I wanted to defund the police. Problem. He said it, tweeted it 10, 15, 20 times. I have to ask you a question. If you said something 10, 15, or 20 times, tweeted it 10, 15, 20 times, got in the police's face and cursed them out, said they were racist and animals, would you not be believed? The guy's a liar. Wolf in sheep's clothing. You're going to have a mayor in New York City that coddles the criminals and kick the police in the nuts. He's also calling for fewer jails and social workers instead of the police. That police are overworked. And as I have said to you on this show, what's the number one job of a leader? Of a city, state, country? Protect the citizens. What's the number 2 job? Protect the citizens. What's the number 3 job? Protect the citizens. And of course, then there's the economics. He wants to raise taxes to fund free buses. Yeah, let's have free buses in New York City. You know who's going to get on those free buses? Yeah, you guessed it. Again, illogic. This is what I said on the TV show. I looked in the camera and I said I was speaking to the soon-to-be mayor. Why not cut taxes? Why not tell corporations that are in New Jersey or Pennsylvania, Connecticut next door, kind of, and all the corporations that left New York City that did not want to leave, but they were sick and tired of what's been going on, and tell them you're going to lower taxes for individuals and companies that were open for business, and watch business pick up and more people come here and more revenues to you that you want so badly. Do you know why they won't do that? When you lower taxes and less regulations, you lose control. And what is a socialist, Marxist, communist? It's not about the people. It's about control. Power hungry, control freakism. And he is going to win. He was up against two people. Curtis Sliwa, God bless him. He's one of those angel guys that, has been around and goes into the subways. But I would poll better than him. And the Yuts. The Yuts. Who was kicked out for sexual harassment. Cuomo. And I thought he was pedestrian last night. And I thought the debate sucked because the way they did the debate was a horror show. They kept getting interrupted. After 30 seconds, you can't get in how you feel in 30 seconds. So that was a complete waste of time. So good luck, New York City. It has me asking, what in blue hell are the voters thinking? And Dagan McDowell, who was on me, was saying, well, here is what they are thinking. They want to pay less for things, and this guy's promising free. There's your vote. But as we know, nothing's free. And he even said it. And of course, the other two debaters didn't catch it. He goes on and says, oh, it's going to be free. Oh, but by the way, we're going to raise $5 billion from this and $4 billion for this because we need $9 billion. You know what they should have come back and said right then and there? Oh, so it's not free. It costs $9 billion. So why don't you say that? No, they missed it. I bring this up. If it sells in New York City, is it going to sell around the country? Freebies. Freebies. Here. This is for you. You don't have to pay anything. Biden was doing it. Oh, what? You took out $250,000 of loans? Don't worry about it. You don't have to pay it. Even though we pay the university. Catch my drift? Not too hard to figure out, ladies and gentlemen. But it is heartbreaking. And I haven't even talked today about he is a racist, Jew-hating, Israel-hating, anti-Semitic schmuck. And cannot even come out against Hamas until he was blasted for it for days, and then finally comes out, well, they're not the, yeah. Call me worried. Because they get voted in. We'll keep you up to date on it because it will matter. Oh, and it will matter especially if you live in New York City. Up next, what else is going on? This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I cannot get over. Well, yes, I can. There were more new yearly lows than new yearly highs in the market today on both the big indices. Wow. Now, I do know if I looked at the new yearly lows, there'll be a lot of dreck on there, but it still matters. It still matters. I'm looking at a list right now. Helen of Troy. Don't they make like hair dryers and stuff? Chime Financial is at a new yearly low. What did we warn you? about Chime Financial. Oh, it's one of these IPOs that opened up too hot. A $27 deal. They opened up at $45. It's at a new yearly low. You ready for this? $17. By the way, that was only June when it came public. Yes, you may thank me. You know what else I just noticed at New Yearly lows? Charter Communications, a very big cable TV company, and all that. Huh. Oh yeah, how about this one, New Yearly low? Symbol GEMI. Oh, another IPO at $28. They opened it up at 46. 19. So again, you may thank me. But really thank the market, because everything we do, we take out of the market. And all we can tell you one by one, all these IPOs that they'd open hot, they crammed them. Here's another one. How about Firefly? $45 deal opened at $74 in early August. Not making this up. 74 down to 26. And new yearly low. Wow. Holy crap-o-matic. And that's only on the NASDAQ. On the New York, are you ready? New yearly low. I recognize this name, Weyerhaeuser. I believe that's like Timberlands. How about this one? New yearly low. CarMax. They only do about 27, 28 billion of auto sales. I got another one. What have we told you about payroll companies? Well, you know what else is kind of included in that? Manpower, staffing services, new yearly low. And if that's at new yearly lows, how about another staffing company, Robert Half, new yearly low. It's gone from 78 to 31. By the way, I'm on the NYSE now. Oh, and by the way, another hot IPO, Klarna Group. $40 deal opens at 57. New yearly low, $35. Ooh, I think I found another one. Booz Allen Consulting. New yearly low. The question is, are the staffing and consulting companies at new yearly lows because of the worry of AI? Now, I know Boise Cascade isn't worried about AI. Wood Products. It's at a new yearly low. 155 to 71. And what have we warned you about insurance? Avoid. Brown and Brown. New yearly low. They're insurance brokers, I do believe. So just letting you know, we're watching all this underneath the surface stuff. That said, very important, the big indices remain above the vitally all-important 50-day moving average. They have teased trouble in the last few days. They have held so far. And considering last Friday was nightmarish, we'll take it. But I have to repeat again, we're finding more and more ICK. If the big indices break the 50-day moving average, along with deteriorating amount of names and internals, you will be hearing from us. It will be important to watch them financials and those semiconductors. The semiconductors were down today but remain pretty darn strong. I don't have much complaint there as of yet. but stay tuned. They were much worse early. They finished down a little bit. So not a biggie. But definitely some warning signs. But until, might as well give you out some numbers, right? The NASDAQ takes out 22,109 until the S&P takes out 6564, until the Dow takes out 45,725. We're okay. Notwithstanding some ick underneath the surface. And notwithstanding the president. 100% tariff? No. Back to 100% tariff. And again, we're very careful. We never guarantee. But the last time they had the tariffs threatening, the market crashed. If he ever put those tariffs on at that size, all hell will break loose. From me to you. You have a great weekend. Drive carefully when you get home. Do like we do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. I promise. Stay well. Be well. Always appreciate you listening. Good night, all. Bye-bye.